And good afternoon again, everybody. Welcome back North Cameron Avenue here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at Winston-Salem Prep, site of the first annual Hoop Cities Invitational, game number 2. On the way, it'll be the Titans from West Forsyth out of the Central Piedmont Athletic Conference in the NCHSAA, 7-7 on the air, taking on the Knights from Forest Trail Academy from nearby Kernersville, North Carolina, 12-9 on the season under head coach Antonio Lowe. Starting lineups first for the Titans, who will be in the home white jerseys trimmed in the green and yellow. They will go with number 1, Darian Slade, a 6-foot senior. Number 2, Daryl Brown, a 6-foot senior. Also number 5, KJ Henry, a 6'6 sophomore. Number 11, Marcus Caldwell, a 6'1 sophomore. And number 15, Cooper LaRue, the 6'4 junior. On the other side for the Knights from Forest Trail Academy, number 1, Lacey Gathing. Number 4, Deshaun Patterson. Number 4, Cameron Alston. Number 13, Mark Ostrander. And number 20, James Biddle. Again, this will be game number 2 of the day of 5. And as we start to see the gym beginning to fill in a little bit here, and I'm going to take a wild guess and assume that it's because of the 2 games that are going to follow us here with the host school, Winston-Salem Prep, getting some run here on both the girls and the boys side. And so the fans starting to pour into the building a little bit here. Forest Trail, just their first year as a basketball program, but my goodness, have they put together a solid program to start things out. They'll be in the road black jerseys with the gold trim, not to mention those neon green and black shoes, which we'll take a closer look at a little bit later on as we move through the day here in Winston-Salem. Both teams getting final instructions in the huddle. If you're just joining us, first game of the day saw Evelyn Mack take on Faith Christian. Evelyn Mack running away with that one, 93-49, behind 14 points from Akeem White in game number 1 of today's action. And this will be game number 2. And it will start out with Forest Trail again in the black jerseys with the gold trim and the black and green shoes. Number 13, Mark Ostrander, the big 6'10 senior, will jump center for the Knights against KJ Henry, the 6'6 sophomore, for the Titans from West Forsyth High School from nearby Clemens. So it's a triad area showdown as the officials give us the all clear. A lot of high-level basketball being played here at Winston-Salem Prep today. A lot of D1 players. We'll talk more about that as we move through the day. West Forsyth, though, will start the ball game with the basketball, moving left to right in this first half. Out front with the basketball, that is Cooper LaRue. And a good behind-the-back move inside by Brown. Spins it off the window for the first points of the ball game, and those belong to the Titans from West Forsyth. Forest Trail now will get their first possession of the ball game. They're going to want to play this inside out. Good strong drive to the hoop that time, but a miss from Deshaun Patterson, the little point guard for Forest Trail. Had the first basket of the game, did Brown, looking for the second one as well. Missed that one. Good position for the rebound by KJ Henry, and the whistle and the foul will go against the Golden Knights from Forest Trail, and it will go against Big Ostrander, number 13, for Forest Trail. Certainly can't afford to get him in foul trouble. He picks up his first just 45 seconds into the ball game. Henry with it. Good move inside, draws the whistle, and draws number 2 against Ostrander, and that's going to make things interesting here in the early going. And quickly, Coach Antonio Lowe will go to his bench and get Dante Hanner into the game in a moment. But first, at the line, the sophomore KJ Henry for the Titans of West Forsyth. West Forsyth, one of 3 public schools playing in this event. 4 public schools, rather, out of 10. With the other 3 being both Winston-Salem Prep teams and R.J. Reynolds, who will come up a little bit later on tonight. Henry misses the second, but the lead is 3 for West Forsyth in the opening minute of the ball game as we hit the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. Forest Trail still looking for their first points. Onto the baseline, this is Hanner, who just checked into the game. Now an open 3 on the way is good for Cameron Alston. And just like that, we're all square at 3. The Knights will throw a lot of pressure at West Forsyth. Good job breaking the pressure that time by Slade. Couldn't finish the layup inside, but they'll get a second chance opportunity, and Slade will get a second chance, and he'll knock that one down. 6-3 now in favor of the Titans from West Forsyth, and there's a turnover Taken away by Henry underneath the basket. And they'll come back the other way. And then a reach-in foul. It's going to go against Cameron Alston. Alston, number 5 in the black and gold, has the only basket thus far for the Knights from Forest Trail. West Forsyth will have the basketball on a 3-point lead, 6-3. Just about 2 minutes gone by in this opening quarter. Slade looking for another bucket. That one off the mark though, but an offensive rebound. KJ Henry with his first field goal. Makes it 8-3 now in favor of West Forsyth. Shake and bake move in the lane by Patterson. Gets the putback to go. His first basket makes it 8-5. Onto the baseline. Good strong take at the rim for number 11, Marcus Caldwell, for the Titans, who are doubling up the Knights 10-5. 5:30 to play in the opening quarter. Now the Titans feeling good about themselves, out trapping at the top of the key now a little bit. Jumper on the way is off the mark for Patterson, and now the Titans have an opportunity to stretch this lead. Isaiah Robertson, or rather Cooper LaRue, had the basketball for a moment. Now driving it inside for the Titans. Good little up and under move that time. And lay it in for Marcus Caldwell again. His second bucket of the ball game, 12-5 now, as West Forsyth out to a good start in this one. Leading by 7. Still not quite 4 minutes into the ball game. Gaffing out front now for the Golden Knights from Forest Trail. Good defense that time from Slade. Now move it into the corner. Up and good that time for Cameron Alston. His second three-pointer of the ball game. Make it 12-8. 4:15 to play in the opening quarter. Brown spins his way into the lane. Good second chance opportunity for Henry. Got that one blocked though, and now numbers back the other way. Good strong take. Missed the layup. Second chance, no. But a foul. That will put big number 11, Dante Hanner, at the free throw line. Hanner fouled by Slade. Both teams are going to get a bunch of subs here in between free throws. Hanner, though, will be at the line. Chance to cut into this lead a little bit for West Forsyth. His first points. And as we take a look at the Knights shooting free throws here, you can't help but notice the neon green Under Armour shoes with the black on them there. We talked about shoes needing batteries. Those ones need them too. My goodness. As Hanner makes both at the line. Makes it 12-10 as we've hit the halfway mark of this first quarter. And now the Knights will extend a little bit of pressure, trying to speed up the Titan offense. Undeterred though, good ball movement. And an open three-point opportunity for Brown is good. So good ball movement by the Titans gives themselves a 5-point lead. 15-10 with 3:30 still to play in this opening quarter. Good step back move, Patterson. The rebound taken away by the Titans. Brown with it out front, number 2 in the white for West Forsyth, hands it off. Good strong take to the rim that time, but a traveling violation. And that'll get a substitution into the game, Nick Joyner. Forest Trail with the basketball on the baseline, trying to spin his way into the paint. Good kick out though. Hanner with the offensive rebound, forces contact at the rim, but it's going to be an offensive foul. Dipping his shoulder a little bit into Joyner in the game off the bench. West Forsyth will get the ball back, still leading by 5. Forest Trail again will send some three-quarter court pressure. But West Forsyth, thus far undeterred, gets an open look at the top of the key and a three-pointer for Marcus Watson, a 6'5" freshman. Widens the lead to 8. Impressive start for the Titans. Hanner with it out front. Knocks that one down, answers with a 3. 5 in the game for Hanner off the bench. Cuts the lead to 5. Good strong take at the rim again. Slade will get himself to the free throw line. And a chance to push this lead back out to as many as 7. West Forsyth doesn't have nearly the name recognition on the roster that some of the players at Forest Trail does, but you can see in the early going, this is a very talented team that plays together really well. And as a result, they've been able to take this lead early on at 19-13. And now make it 20-13 as Slade makes both free throws to match the largest lead of the game. Still 2:05 left to play in the opening quarter. Drive it inside, Hanner on the baseline. Good pass into the corner. Count it, and a foul on the three-pointer for Caleb Burgess off the bench. And that's one of those momentum killers if you're West Forsyth right there. Giving up the three-pointer and the foul, and now a chance to complete the 4-point play. Caleb Burgess for Forest Trail. And he does. And that makes it a one-possession game now at 20-17. Just under 2 minutes to play. And again, Forest Trail will throw a little three-quarter court man-to-man pressure at the Titans. Good take into the lane, Cooper LaRue. Couldn't finish that. And then threw the ball away. And then a dunk underneath the basket for Marcus Watson off the turnover. Forest Trail quickly back the other way. Good job tracking back defensively, though, for the Knights. Or for the Titans, rather. Knights with the basketball. Big-time crossover into the lane for Patterson. But the rebound taken away by Watson again. Watson lost the basketball, and now numbers back the other way for the Knights. Patterson got his shot blocked and then thrown to the ground unnecessarily. And that's going to be an intentional foul. That's going to go against Cooper LaRue, and now we've got both players coming together a little bit. And despite these two teams having never played before, it took only 7 minutes before things start getting chippy. And so we had technicals handed out in addition to the intentional fouls. And so we'll see as the officials are going to sort this one out for a moment. I saw we had the intentional foul initially against LaRue for West Forsyth, and then after the play was over, looked like a technical foul was assessed to Deshaun Patterson for the Knights. And so what we should see as both teams huddle up on their respective sidelines and the officials sort this out is we should have 2 free throws either way, and then the ball should belong to West Forsyth. And the first free throws should belong to Deshaun Patterson for the Knights from Forest Trail. And that will be the case. I know my basketball rules. You see that? It's good. First of 2 on the way for Patterson. These will be the intentional foul shots after LaRue is whistled for the intentional on the break. Makes 1 of 2. And now we'll go back the other way and shoot a pair of uncontested free throws for West Forsyth, which will be for the technical foul, which also counts as a personal against Patterson. And LaRue will take these for West Forsyth as the officials explaining to Coach Lowe on the sideline, and in fact explaining to both coaches right now exactly what happened and what was assessed to either side. So now LaRue will get a pair uncontested. The 6'4" junior for West Forsyth. And LaRue misses both. And so a mini advantage on that exchange of unpleasantries goes to Forest Trail. And I think they had double technicals, actually, now it looks like, because now we're going to shoot 2 more for Deshaun Patterson. As he rattles that first one in. So again, just to recap, what we had was an intentional foul whistled against Cooper LaRue for West Forsyth, followed by matching technical fouls against both LaRue and Deshaun Patterson. So Patterson makes 3 of 4. West Forsyth misses both of theirs. So that draws Forest Trail within 2 at 22-20, and they'll have the basketball with 1:05 left to play in this opening quarter. Patterson with it out front. Good shoulder shake all the way to the rim for Edwards, who gets decked, and Edwards will get to the free throw line. Edwards just in the game, Tobias Edwards, wearing number 12 for the Knights. With just under a minute left to play, has a chance to tie this ball game at the line after West Forsyth led by as many as 7 earlier in the quarter. Second free throw on the way for Edwards is up and good, and we are all square at 22. That's a 7-0 run for Forest Trail. And then we get a little hand check foul as the Titans trying to get the ball across the midline. And that is going to be the 7th team foul against the Knights in the first half. So that's going to be a 1-and-1 now for the Titans, who will be shooting free throws the rest of this first half. And what has been a physical and chippy affair here in game number 2 of this showcase event at Winston-Salem Prep. Front end of the 1-and-1 for Brown is no good, but an offensive rebound. Watson for 3, that's no good, and the rebound now for Forest Trail, who has numbers back the other way. Can't finish the layup, and a missed opportunity for Forest Trail to take their first lead of the ball game. Brown around that double team. Big time take, second chance opportunity. Up and in for Nick Joyner, the 6'5" senior for West Forsyth, now down to 20 seconds to play in the quarter. Gathing with it out front. Gathing with a real strong drive, get his shot blocked, but before he went up for the shot, a whistle and a foul. It's going to go against West Forsyth. That foul is on the floor. So with 9.7 left to play in the quarter, Forest Trail will inbound from underneath the basket. Poor pass taken away that time. 4 seconds left to play in the quarter. Strong drive in by Caldwell, who gets knocked to the deck, and with 0.6 showing on the game clock, Caldwell will go to the free throw line. Marcus Caldwell, a 6'1" sophomore, wearing number 11, will be at the line for 2. As they're going to say that was in the act of shooting. Misses the front end, though. West Forsyth struggling at the free throw line a little bit. Have now missed 4 in a row. Second one coming, that one off the front of the rim as well. So 5 straight misses at the line to close the quarter for West Forsyth. But despite all of that, they still do hold a 2-point lead as we've hit the end of the first quarter. 24-2 is our score in favor of the Titans, leading the Knights from Forest Trail Academy. Scorers in that opening quarter. Handful of players with 5 for West Forsyth, including Darian Slade, Daryl Brown, and Marcus Watson, all with 5. Marcus Caldwell with 4. KJ Henry with 3, and Nick Joyner with 2 to round out the scoring for West Forsyth. On the other side for Forest Trail, Deshaun Patterson made 3 of 4 at the line in that scrum about midway through the first quarter, has 5 to lead the Knights. Also in, actually check that, Cameron Alston with a pair of 3s has 6 to lead the scoring for the Knights. Patterson and Dante Hanner each with 5. Caleb Burgess with 4. And then Tobias Edwards with a pair of free throws to round out the scoring for Forest Trail, who has trailed, no pun intended, but intended, the entire way, has yet to lead in the ballgame, and has trailed by as many as 7 on a couple of occasions. So 24-22 as we get ready to start the second quarter. West Forsyth 7-7 on the season and 3-1 out of the 4A Central Piedmont Conference in the NCHSAA. The Knights from Forest Trail Academy from Kernersville 12-9 on the year under head coach Antonio Lowe, coming off a loss earlier in the week against the team we saw in the previous game, Evelyn Mack, in a tight contest. And given how good Evelyn Mack was in the first game, that leads you to believe this Forest Trail team's pretty good. Because Evelyn Mack was absolutely dominant in the first game playing against Faith Assembly. And Faith Assembly was no slouch. That was a team with some really talented players. West Forsyth will have the ball to open up this second quarter, moving left to right. They're in the home white jerseys with the green and yellow if you're just joining us. Forest Trail in the road black jerseys with the gold trim and the neon green and black sneakers out there. Forest Trail in a zone for the first time today to start this second quarter. West Forsyth had a lot of success getting to the rim in the first quarter, and I think that's the reason for the change here for Coach Lowe, as along the baseline, Watson gets all the way to the rim and lays it in. 7 in the game for Watson off the bench. 4-point lead now at 26-22. Out front with it, Tobias Edwards. Now behind the screen, this is Caleb Burgess, has 4 points in the ball game. West Forsyth really moving their feet defensively here. Not really finding a whole lot of openings. You see the Titans really scrambling on the defensive end in this man-to-man, able to make life really difficult on this four. Have not really been able to get quality looks throughout the ball game to this point. Trying to step through traffic, but that should be a travel, and it is, as Lacey Gathing, trying to come through that double team for the Titans, is whistled 4 steps, and we'll go back the other way. With the Titans looking to extend their lead, they lead by 4 at 26-22, still 6:40 left to play in this first half. Good ball movement from the free throw line, had an open look at a 3, but passed on it did Watson. Now Slade forcing contact as he goes up strong with the basketball. Will go to the free throw line. And so Slade will get a pair. And that will draw substitutions as Coach Lowe is going to dig into his bench a little bit. But first, the 6-foot senior Slade knocks down the free throw. James Biddle among the substitutions for Forest Trail, along with Cameron Alston. Deshaun Patterson back in as well, so most of the starting lineup back out there. Second free throw, up and good as well for Slade. Slade with 7 in the game, and the lead, after it had been tied at 22, is now back to 6 for West Forsyth. So a 6-0 run after a 7-0 run for Forest Trail. Still having trouble finding passes. West Forsyth has ripped off 9 in a row after the game was tied at 22. And with 6:03 left to play before halftime, West Forsyth has opened up a 9-point lead here at the first annual Hoop Cities Invitational at Winston-Salem Prep, Salem, North Carolina, sponsored by Champion. This gym will be jumping for games number 3 and 4 here with the host school, Winston-Salem Prep, playing on both the boys and the girls side. Two of the premier teams in the 1A classification in the NCHSAA. So Knights with the basketball, trailing by 9 at 31-22. Elliott Dargan in the game for the first time. Slips there in the lane, and then is going to be whistled for steps. So Coach Lowe digging into his bench a little bit, looking for somebody to give this team a spark. But West Forsyth will get the ball back and a chance to extend this 9-0 run and widen this 9-point lead. Brown with the pull-up jumper knocks that in. He's had a good ball game to this point. 7 points in the game for him. Now it's an 11-point lead for West Forsyth at 33-22. Rebound off the miss that time. Slade rather, with the miss. Dangerous lead ahead pass. Got it there for Caldwell with a good finish that time over the outstretched arms of James Biddle. Caldwell's third basket. He's trying to answer with a three and finally stops the run. Does Cameron Alston, who knocks down his third three-pointer of the ball game. It was a 13-0 run for West Forsyth. Cuts the lead to 10. Brown with a strong drive, scored in a foul with the left hand. Just bounced off the contact in the lane. And Brown now with a chance to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. Has 9 in the game. 6-foot senior has gone in among the trees repeatedly, and that's one of the things you really like about this guard tandem for West Forsyth, talking about Daryl Brown and Darian Slade. Both of them just about 6 feet tall, but have been fearless in this ball game, attacking the much bigger Forest Trail squad in the paint as Brown completes the three-point play and pushes the lead back to 13. 38-25. Still 4:40 to play before halftime. Patterson with the good take, can't finish it in the lane. And then tied up underneath the basket is Biddle, who had the offensive rebound. Give the foul to Brown, it looks like. And so at the line will be big James Biddle. So still 4:33 to play before halftime, with West Forsyth in control of this one right now, 38-25. Biddle with his first points of the ball game. 38-26 now. Brown with it. Working man-to-man with Slade, misses the three. Second chance opportunity. Henry no good, but a third chance opportunity now for West Forsyth. Outside of three again. That one rattles through. Daryl Brown with his second three-pointer of the ball game. He's got 13. It's a 15-point lead, largest of the game for West Forsyth. Three-pointer trying to answer it back the other way. It's an air ball, though. A weak side rebound taken away by Slade. And then a good lead-ahead pass that time to Watson. Watson knocked down while going in for the layup. And Watson will be at the line. And Watson, just a freshman at 6'5", but has been the catalyst for this West Forsyth team. Got them rolling a little bit in the first quarter. He's continued it in the second, as he's now got 11 first-half points. Only other player in double figures is Daryl Brown for the Titans, who has 13. 42-26. Rattles that one through as well, does Watson. 12 in the game for him, largest lead of the game again at 43-26. Quick substitution for the Knights, though. We'll get Burgess back into the game. And to the bench will go Gathing. Not sure whether we'll see it today, but this Forest Trail team has a little bit of a international feel to it. A couple of players from outside the U.S. that are on their bench today. We'll see if we get a chance to get a look at them as we move a little bit further through this ball game, but still business at hand as Brown with the steal and adds two more. to the West Forsyth lead. Now it's 19 at 45-26. Now a double team coming on Elliot Dargan, who's struggling with his handle right on the sideline and is going to be tied up. Good double team again for the Titans. Forces the tie up. Dargan will throw it in. Deshaun Patterson with it. Picked up on a switch, gets all the way to the rim anyway and draws the contact. Good take that time by Deshaun Patterson. After he was picked up by the 6'6 sophomore Ben Uloko into the game for the first time for West Forsyth. Gets into the game and picks up a foul in the first 30 seconds. So at the line will be Deshaun Patterson, who has 5 points, including a handful of free throws. Make it 6 now, 4 of those at the line. And still one more coming for Patterson. 3:14 still to play before halftime. Cuts the lead now down to 17 at 45-28. Forest Trail again will try to throw a little bit of pressure, this time successfully as they are able to create the turnover. And then Patterson called for step. So a missed opportunity there for Forest Trail to potentially dig into this lead a little bit, trailing by 17. But a turnover after West Forsyth. Trail pressure this time without any trouble. Again, Slade and Brown, 1 and 2 for West Forsyth in the white, have been really, really impressive in this first half, combining for 22 points. Playing against the bigger Forest Trail squad. Brown wants more, gets more. Third three-pointer of the half for Dario Brown, who has 18 points to lead all scorers, and West Forsyth with a 20-point lead over Forest Trail, 48-28. Still 2 minutes and 25 seconds to play before the half. Nice little cut down the lane that time, though, as the West Forsyth defense that has been so good in this first half breaks down that time. Burgess finishes on the roll. Quickly back the other way, though, are the Titans. This is Watson from out front. He knocks one down as well. That's his third three of the half. He's got 15. And then Forest Trail quickly trying to push things back the other way. Patterson got bumped on his way through the lane. And that'll be team foul number 7 against the Titans. And so to the free throw line will go Deshaun Patterson, who has more or less set up camp at the free throw line in this ball game. Has 7 points, 5 of them at the line. Front end of the 1-and-1 coming. And now we get one more. 51-31, still 1:58 left to play in the first half. Second one rolls in as well, and we'll get another substitution as Deshaun Patterson will come to the bench. Back into the game, Gathing. 19-point game at 51-32. And again, Forest Trail trying to speed things up on the defensive end, trying to induce another turnover from West Forsyth, who's done a good job maintaining possession of the basketball. Brown trying to throw it on the baseline, though. Threw it away. Pass intended for Uloko, number 32 in the white. Good defense that time for Forest Trail. Forcing the turnover, second time in the last 3 possessions. Just haven't been able to get enough of those. And that's one of the reasons they're down by 19 right now, but with the basketball and a chance to cut into this lead a little bit. Working against this man-to-man defense for West Forsyth. Trying to fight his way into the lane was Gathing. Elliot Dargan with a good pass into the corner. Knocks down the 3, does Cameron Alston. He's got 4 threes. Cuts the lead down to 16 at 51-35. Forest Trail can cut this down to 12 maybe at the half. Feel a little bit better about things as West Forsyth misses a 3 finally. Forest Trail with numbers back the other way. Gathing, lay it up, no, but a blocking foul underneath the basket. Trying to take the charge in there was Nick Joyner. Got there a little bit late, though. And so that will put Gathing at the free throw line, a chance to cut into this lead a little further. It's been as many as 20, down to 16 right now. And again, if Forest Trail can chop this down to 12 or maybe even 10 at the half, you'd have to feel really good considering the circumstances in which West Forsyth has seemingly made every shot and has been unreal on the defensive end, has really, really stifled this up-tempo attack for the Knights. Got to make your free throws, though. Knock down the second one. That time does Gathing, his first point of the game. Makes it 51-36. And that'll get a substitution in as Mason Matney into the game for the first time, replacing Ben Yoloko for West Forsyth. So the Titans a little bit smaller out there, with the exception of Nick Joyner, who's about 6'5". And before we get this possession, with 52 seconds to play in the half, Coach Rusty LaRue for West Forsyth is going to call a timeout. And we'll talk a little bit about what they want to do. And you wonder if maybe West will think about playing for one shot in this half, obviously without a lot of coaches around the state employ, some to the nth degree, depending on the game. But when you're leading by 15 against a high-quality opponent, as West Forsyth is, it wouldn't necessarily be a terrible tactical idea. So again, leading by 15, West Forsyth will have the basketball in the home whites with the green and yellow trim, moving left to right. Dario Brown, who's been the star of this first half for West Forsyth, has 18 points, and they for one shot if they can get it, with the clock now down under 40 seconds. Forest Trail sitting back in his zone, but coming out to try and speed things up a little bit for West Forsyth. Brown has 18 points. Slade, number one there with 7. Trying to throw that pass on the baseline for LaRue, was deflected away and stolen. Now Forest Trail with a chance to get a little closer. 12 seconds left to play in the half. This is Gathing with it, number 1 for Forest Trail. Open 3, looking for his 5th of the half, and knocks it down. Does Cameron Alston with 3 seconds left. And then a wild shot from Slade is no good. And we have hit the end of the first half. A very entertaining first half that saw West Forsyth lead by as many as 20, but Forest Trail able to cut the lead down to 12 at 51-39 at the end of the first half. It went a little bit under the radar, but Cameron Alston with 15 points, all of them from the three-point line. 5 made threes in the opening 2 quarters, has cut this lead from 20 to 12. And I think we've got a good game in store for us in the second half between West Forsyth and Forest Trail. 51-39, the Titans leading the Knights, and we'll have the second half for you coming up here in about 10 minutes from the first annual Hoop Cities Invitational in Winston-Salem, presented by Champion Sports on Netcast Sports. They only used him once, but 35, I mean, I don't know who the hell that was. Can you check with them and see who that was? For West Forsyth, 35.
Film what you're talking about.
Right.
It looks so much better.
Okay. Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Ready?
What? I know I got a run.
Marcus, are we ready here? I just want to run through the scores too. So, are we ready? I just want to run through the scores before we start. And welcome back again to Winston-Salem Prep Academy here on North Cameron Ave in Winston-Salem, side of the Hoop Cities Invitational, first annual event presented by Champion Sports. Second game of the day featuring the Titans of West Forsyth out to a surprising 12-point lead over Forest Trail after 2 quarters of play. West Forsyth, in fact, led this game by as many as 20 in the first half. Forest Trail, though, able to cut the lead down to 12 at the break. Taking a quick look at some of the leading scorers in the ball game, starting first for the Titans from West Forsyth, Daryl Brown, number 2, the 6-foot senior, with 18 first half points off the bench. Number 14, Marcus Watson, a 6'5 freshman, finishing with 15 points in that opening half. Just one player in double figures on the other side for the Knights, and that was Cameron Alston, who had a initially quiet 15 points, but made a couple of loud three-pointers late in the second quarter that helped to cut the lead from what was 20 points for West Forsyth down to 12. As we start this second half, West Forsyth will have the basketball in those home whites trimmed in the green and yellow, and they'll turn the ball over right away to Forest Trail as Deshaun Patterson circles the wagons, maybe rolled an ankle. Looks like he's having a little trouble moving out there. And now a three-pointer coming from Alston that's off the mark. Second chance opportunity, also no good, and this time West Forsyth clears the rebound. Forest Trail in the road black uniforms and the gold trim. Another turnover, this time Patterson with the steal. Takes it hard at the rim. Can't finish the layup. Cleared away by West Forsyth, who has a run out back the other way. Cooper LaRue handed off inside, gets tied up inside, does KJ Henry. So KJ will go back to the line. Just 3 points in the ball game, but was really, really good in the first half, working against the Forest Trail big guys, including Mark Ostrander, who was the starting center for this team, about 6'10", 6'11", but picked up 2 fouls in the opening minute of the ball game and has not played since. Henry now with 4. See Deshaun Patterson over there trying to walk it off. I didn't see what he did. It looked like he maybe rolled an ankle or something along those lines initially, but walking a little bit better now, so he's going to stay in the ball game as Henry knocks down both free throws to widen the lead back to 14. Important for West to get off to a good start in this second half to try and quell the momentum that Forest Trail picked up in the second quarter at the end. High post area. Good jumper that time by James Biddle, his first field goal of the ball game. Make it a 12-point game again. Quickly break the pressure, do the Titans, and Cooper LaRue, number 15 in the white, gets his first basket. Make it 55-41. Favor of West Forsyth. Good take at the lane, and it's going to be an offensive foul as the officials defer to each other. Nobody made a call, and then finally the out official makes the whistle for a charge as Gathing picks up the offensive foul, diving into the lane. So good job defensively that time for the Titans. Get the stop on the defensive end, get the ball back, leading by 14. Daryl Brown, number 2 there for the Titans. Henry, short on the jumper, and Forest Trail will get it back. So Forest Trail with the basketball, trailing by 14. Patterson with it. Picked up on a switch by Henry. Good pass down low, and the dunk for Biddle. Really nice look that time for Patterson. Slipped the screen that time, got all the way to the rim unattended for an easy basket. Probably the easiest 2 he's had all day. The easiest basket anybody for Forest Trail has had. Trying to throw it on the baseline against this zone defense for the Knights. Pass deflected out of play, though. Biddle get his long arms out there to knock that one away from Henry. And now from the dead corner, kind of a dangerous spot to throw this ball in. Able to get it in, though, at the top. Whistle and a little hand check foul out front that's going to go against Forest Trail. Seeing the officials call this game increasingly tighter as the game has moved along, largely due to the little scrum we had at the midway point of the first quarter. This is Darian Slade, number 1 with the basketball for West Forsyth. Now to the top for Daryl Brown. Had a big first half. Good pass inside. Henry draws the foul, and he'll go back to the free throw line. Brown again had 18 points in the first half, 3 3-pointers. Showing off the passing skills that time to get the ball to Henry. And for the second time in this third quarter, KJ Henry, wearing number 5, will be at the line. And for the third time in a row, knocks down the free throw. So 2 at the line for Henry. Now 7 points in the ball game. Lead back to 14 at 57-43. Elliot Dargan into the game for the first time in the second half for Forest Trail, wearing number 2. Patterson frees himself from Cooper. Missed the layup. Scramble for the loose ball. Good take in the lane and score it, and a foul this time for Lacey Gathing. His first field goal comes at a good time for Forest Trail rather. Makes the lead 57-45 for West Forsyth, and a chance to make it an 11-point game with a free throw. Made 1 of 2 earlier. That one wouldn't stay down. And West Forsyth still leading by 12, but it feels like both teams are wrestling for control of the ball game here in this third quarter. Slade with it. And now to Brown, number 2. LaRue, up fake the 3-pointer. Good job defensively that time to knock the ball away from LaRue. West Forsyth will keep it though on the baseline. Brown will throw it in. Looking for some help. Gets it back from Henry. Double team coming. Step back 3 for Slade, a little bit short. And the rebound taken away for Forest Trail. Quickly want to run back the other way. Patterson goes coast to coast. He's got 11. Recently received an offer from North Carolina A&T. Three-pointer on the way for Daryl Brown. Had 3 of those in the first half. Not on this one, though. And now numbers back the other way for Forest Trail. Gets a 3-pointer in the corner. Second chance opportunity, no. And a real bullet dodge that time for West Forsyth as the lead down to 10. Good take this time, though, all the way to the lane. And Daryl Brown now with 20 in the game. That's a game high. .354 to play in this third quarter. 59-47 in favor of West Forsyth in the white. Big time crossover by Patterson. So scored and a foul. Officials initially looked like they weren't going to give him the extra step for the basket, but they do count the hoop that time for Patterson. Patterson now with 13 and a chance to make it 14 at the free throw line. West will get a couple of subs into the game. Among them, Nick Joyner. Deshaun Patterson, though, at the free throw line. Misses that free throw off the side. Also into the game for the first time in the half, Marcus Watson, who had a monster first half for West Forsyth, 15 points. Number 14 in the white. Good pass to the high post area, now an open 3. Slade couldn't get that one to drop, and all those shots that were dropping in the first half for West Forsyth not falling here in the third. Alston looking for a 6-3. Comes up a little short, though. Alston wearing number 5 has 15 points, all of them at the 3-point line. Good take in the lane that time by Brown. Second chance opportunities for West Forsyth. Hard take at the rim and lay it in with the contact. Darian Slade. Now 9 points for him. Still a 12-point game at 61-49. Patterson takes the hip check as he was trying to spin his way around Slade. And it's been the Deshaun Patterson show here in the third quarter, trying to will his team all the way back into this basketball game, trailing by 12. Number 4 in the black and gold as he fires a three. A little bit off the mark, though, and a weak side rebound for Dede Myers into the game for the first time for West Forsyth, and there's a three-pointer on the other end for Marcus Watson. Watson with his 4th three-pointer of the ball game. He's got 18 points. 2 off the team high, 64-49. Still 2.5 to play in the third quarter. This has been a fun basketball game. Put it on the deck. Hanner all the way in the lane. It's going to be a jump ball. Good job recovering that time. Nick Joyner got up in the air, bought the bit on the fake from Hanner, but was able to recover and tie up Hanner underneath. Forest Trail will throw it in on the baseline. Quickly comes into Hanner, who just barrels over a man underneath the hoop, and that will be an offensive foul. Good job that time by Nick Joyner, stepping in there and taking the shoulder tackle essentially from Hanner. Gives the ball back to the Titans at 64-49. 2:18 is now Forest Trail will come out and attack a little bit defensively. Joyner, nice shovel pass underneath. And then in the rebounding action, got a whistle and a foul that's going to go against Brown. And they will give 2 shots at the line for Jalen Baldwin. Baldwin, after not playing much in the first half, has played a bunch here in the second for Forest Trail. Number 10 will get a chance to get his first points of the ball game. So still one more to come for Baldwin as the lead is at 16, 76-60. Count that one as well. So first 2 points of the game for Jalen Baldwin. Titans with a basketball, trying to work against heavy backcourt pressure. There is Brown trying to find his way around Caleb Burgess and is bumped and fouled. And that should be 1 and 1, as I believe that's team foul number 8 against the Knights, and it is. So to the line, no, they're going to say that's team foul number 10. So to the line will go Dario Brown, chance to add to his fantastic day here today. Again, 23 points, make it 24 for the 6-foot senior, who has somewhat stolen the show here today, playing against this high-profile Forest Trail Academy group. And he has been absolutely outstanding. Chance for one more. And the rebound taken away by Elliot Dargan. Forest Trail with the basketball, fighting into the lane that time. Finishing with the contact is Gathing. And then a turnover as the ball thrown out of play. Gathing with a nice fourth quarter, trying to bring his team back into this one. Has 6 points already in the fourth, and we have yet to play 2.5 minutes. 77-63 as Forest Trail gets the ball back, clock moving, and Forest Trail needs to get moving as well. Gathing with it, picked up in a switch. Now the double team coming, gets rid of it. Good pass inside. Shot looked like initially blocked a little bit by Henry, but also saying he got him with the body. So to the free throw line will go Tobias Edwards, who has 4 points in the game, including 2 of 2 at the free throw line back in the first half. Keeps the deficit at 14 at 77-63. Still 5:16 to play in the ball game. And even with a 14-point deficit, you don't feel like Forest Trail's quite out of this, though making your free throw certainly helps as Edwards misses both. And now Forest Trail will start sending double teams at everybody, scrambling on defense, trying to get a couple of stops and get the ball back. Good pass inside to the cutting Darian Slade. Slade now with 20. Joins teammate Dario Brown as the 20-point scorer club in this ball game. There's a deflection and nearly a steal. Last touch out of play, though, off of Marcus Caldwell for West Forsyth. Burgess will throw it in for Forest Trail, number 3 in the black. Picked up in a switch again. That time is Gathing. Finds an open teammate. Gathing able to save the dribble that time. Finishes in the lane. He's got 11. 8 of them here in this fourth quarter. Open 3 for Slade. Missed that one off the back rim. Henry, though, with a second chance opportunity. Henry's got 9. 81-65. Gathing again. Score the basket, but no, they'll take it away with the offensive foul. Officials for the second time stare at each other, trying to decide whether or not it was a charge or a block, both kind of deferring to the other. And when neither made a call, one of them decided to make it. A little slow to get to his feet is Lacey Gathing. Wipe away the basket for him. Has 11 points again, 8 of them in this fourth quarter. And he will come to the bench as Deshaun Patterson will get back in. Patterson was a little dinged up in the third quarter as well. Rolled his ankle early in the third, but played through it. Patterson has 13 points in the ball game for Forest Trail, so a little bit more offense on the floor now. But first got to get the stops. West Forsyth with the basketball. Able to break the full court pressure for Forest Trail, and then trying to hand it off outside. Bumping a foul that time will go against Caleb Burgess, who bodied up Marcus Caldwell, and that's one of those fouls that would not have been a foul a year ago, but with the new rules in place, limiting the amount of contact you can have on the perimeter, drawing the whistle there. At the free throw line is Marcus Caldwell with the Titans long since in the bonus and now into the double bonus as well, with 3:57 to play in the fourth quarter. And West Forsyth trying to put the finishing touches on what would be a very impressive win for them, leading by 16, make it 17 now, as Caldwell makes one of two. 82-65. As we get a bunch of substitutions now for Forest Trail. Tobias Edwards in the game along with Patterson. Dante Hanner back into the game as well. Patterson working against McMillan, who just checked in. Finds a teammate, Hanner with the open 3. Knocks that down, and that'll draw a timeout from Coach Lowe. Hanner's second three-pointer of the ball game. He's got 8 to cut the lead down to 14 at 82-68. So still not quite out of this one is Forest Trail, but we'll need to start getting stops on the defensive end and need to start scoring in a big, big hurry if they're going to chop into this lead any further and give themselves a chance at what would be a pretty tremendous comeback. Again, despite the fact that West Forsyth has led this game by double digits since the late stages of the first quarter, it's been a very competitive back and forth game, but every time that West Forsyth has seen their lead shrink a little bit down to 10 or 11 or 12, they put together a run to push it back out, and they've led by as many as 22. And should West Forsyth hold on to win this game, I think you'd have to consider this a pretty good upset for West Forsyth, who came into today's action just 7-7 on the year, 3-1 in the Central Piedmont, but they have played a stellar basketball game to this point. Get the ball in out of the timeout. Driving it hard inside is Slade, who gets tied up at the rim, and they'll say jump ball. Arrow will stay with West Forsyth, but a great job defensively that time getting back and influencing that play. And So West Forsyth will throw it in on the baseline. Into the hands of Gathing, or rather into the hands of Slade. Brown. Now is West Forsyth trying to eat a little bit of clock, get an open look for Watson for three, who knocks it down. And Watson again off the bench has had a marvelous game today for this West Forsyth Titans team, now with 21 in the ball game, pushing the lead out to 17. And then off the miss there, West Forsyth has numbers back the other way. Brown pulls up in the lane, nice drop off underneath, and McMillan gets his first bucket of the ball game. As this one now just about all but academic, with West Forsyth leading by 19 with 3 minutes left to play in the ball game. Patterson gets tied up a little bit with McMillan, and they'll whistle the foul, and that'll get a substitution into the game as KJ Henry will exit, likely for the last time today. Teammates give him a good round of applause as he comes to the bench, finishing with 9 points in the game. Still 3 minutes left to play in the ball game, as Hannon, though, is going to get whistled for, well, I thought they were initially going to call an offensive foul. No, they did. Or did they? No, they're going to say a blocking foul. Thought initially they were going to get Hannon for a little swim move and a hook, but instead they're going to get a blocking foul that's going to go against Watson, and that'll put Hannon at the free throw line, Hanner rather, as he makes the first. Hanner, a perfect 3 of 3 at the line, has 9 points. And score the basket as well to make it 87-71. Long inbounds pass comes into the hands of Brown. Double team coming as Forest Trail trying to speed up West Forsyth, but we're going to get a whistle and a timeout from Coach Rusty LaRue, who wants to discuss the final 2:45 of this basketball game and make sure that his team is prepared offensively for what is likely to be heavy pressure that's going to come from Forest Trail as they try to create some turnovers and get some easy baskets. But trailing by 16, West Forsyth in a really good position right now to put this basketball game away, leading 87-71. Reminder, game number 3 coming your way here in just a little while. After we're done here, we'll feature the Forest Trail Academy girls, as they'll be out here to take on the defending 1A NCHSAA state champions, the Phoenix of Winston-Salem Prep, who have a couple of Division I players on their roster as well. Jada Craig, an ETSU commit and signee, and Dominique Clater, and East Carolina signee, will both be out here. And the Phoenix women, an outstanding basketball team, have absolutely dominated the 1A over the last 2 seasons. Phoenix boys will be out here a little bit later on as well, as you start to see the crowd really filing in for the 2 host schools participating in this event, the first ever Hoop Cities Invitational, presented by Champion Sports. Off the inbounds, ball thrown into the sideline and out of play. And so that's exactly what Forest Trail wanted, is that they get a turnover without a single second coming off the clock. And now they'll get the ball back. Trailing by 16. And need to start getting points in a hurry. Deshaun Patterson, number 4, out front with it for Forest Trail. Good take in the lane, hangs in the air. Couldn't get it to go, though. Battle for the miss, West Forsyth with a basketball. Good strong take by Slade. Score it, and the foul. Darian Slade comes all the way through the lane. What a finish that time by Darian Slade. Practically glided through the lane that time to finish that one against the contact, and Slade now with 22 in the ball game has had a big second half. Free throw on the way completes the 3-point play. Get this, West Forsyth now with 3 20-point scorers. Slade with 23, Brown with 24, and Watson with 21. As we get a whistle and a foul back on the other end. Foul's going to go against Slade. And to the free throw line will go Lacey Gathing. Gathing has 11 in the ball game, with West Forsyth out in front in this one by 19 at 90-71. 2:27 still to play in the fourth quarter. Roll that first free throw in. Does Gathing, and that'll get substitutions in. Ben Yoloko for Evelyn Mack, who was very, very impressive. And if you want to put into context about what West Forsyth is doing here today, note that Forest Trail has played Evelyn Mack twice. Both games very, very tight, although both losses for Forest Trail. Maybe we had the matchups mixed up in the first two games here today. Would have been great to see this West Forsyth team play Evelyn Mack, especially with the way they played today. So it'll be West Forsyth with the basketball out of the timeout after the three-pointer for Alston. West Forsyth with a 16-point lead as Forest Trail will throw a little full-court pressure, but able to break it that time where West Forsyth nearly lost the basketball and then did lose it initially as Mason Matney lost his handle on the dribble, but was pushed in the back trying to get it back. And so Matney will come back and shoot a pair. Very nearly got the turnover that they wanted. Did Forest Trail, but a little bit too aggressive going for that loose ball. And to the free throw line will go the 5'11 junior Mason Matney, looking for his first points of the game. Played briefly at the end of the second quarter. Now getting some opportunities down the stretch here in the fourth. First free throw on the way. Get a quick substitution for West Forsyth as well. Out of the game will come Daryl Brown. What a ball game he had. 24 points in the game, replaced by Marcus Caldwell. Caldwell with 7 for West Forsyth. One more coming for the 5'11 junior, Matney. Makes it 94-76. Patterson with a good push the other way, score the basket, and the foul. Patterson will go back to the free throw line. In the first half, pretty much lived at the free throw line. Now has 15 points in the game. Chance to make it 16 at the line. Still 1:52 to play in the fourth. Make it 94-79, and West Forsyth does not allow Forest Trail to set up that full court pressure as they very, very quickly got the ball in play. And now West Forsyth trying to spread the floor a little bit, but a careless turnover that time by Marcus Watson is about the only mistake he's made all game. Threw the ball out of play after he wasn't able to field that cross-court pass from Matney. So Forest Trail again with the ball, trailing by 15. Gathing with a wild take into the paint and gets called for the offensive foul as he barreled over, take your pick, out of the 3 West Forsyth players that closed the lane off that time. And West will get the ball back. Throw the pass long. Nice job to save it by Caldwell. And now Caldwell will slow things down for West Forsyth. And Forest Trail will give the foul, and a little bit more jawing for both sides. Game was chippy in the first quarter. Settled things down, though, in the middle 2 quarters. And now West Forsyth will shoot a couple at the line as Coach Lowe for Forest Trail tells his team to settle down a little bit. Fouls against Biddle. And at the free throw line again will be Marcus Caldwell. More substitutions. Nick Joyner coming back in for West Forsyth. He'll replace Marcus Watson. Also back into the game, Elliot Dargan for Forest Trail. James Biddle will go to the bench. 1:27 left to play in the ball game. West Forsyth on its way to a very impressive win as they get the offensive rebound off the missed free throws. Nice pass underneath that time to Yoloko. And now West Forsyth content to play a little bit of keep away right now and run the game clock down if they can. Down to 1:07 before Forest Trail gives the foul. And to the line will go Dede Myers, the 5'9" senior. Hoping we'll hear from head coach Rusty LaRue for West Forsyth coming up in a few minutes. After we're done here, talk about his team's impressive win over this very, very talented Forest Trail Academy group. Coach LaRue over there popping up off the bench to have a discussion with Drevin Robinson, who gets into the game. West Forsyth struggling with the line a little bit here. Chance to get potentially to the century mark. Leading by 15 with yet still another free throw coming for Dede Myers. Not able to get that one either. Forest Trail with the rebound though. So 4 straight misses at the line for West Forsyth, and then a long NBA range 3 from Deshaun Patterson is good. And Coach Lowe will burn another timeout. That cuts the lead to 12 at 94-82. So Forest Trail battling to the literal bitter end here. Trailing by 12 though, and West Forsyth still needs to make a couple of free throws to put this one on ice. 58.8 seconds showing on the game clock in a game that West Forsyth has led wire to wire. There was one tie, 2 ties if you count 0-0. The other tie was at 22 all back in the first half. Since then, West Forsyth has had the lead every single second of the ball game. And again, a little bit of a surprise given the amount of big-time talent on the opposite sideline, or on the opposite bench rather, for Forest Trail, and that is to take nothing away from how good this West Forsyth team is. They've got some talented players as well, and they've really demonstrated that. And in fact, you could argue have maybe had the 3 best players in this ball game. Talking about Daryl Brown, Darian Slade, and Marcus Watson. West Forsyth with a run out and the lay-in for Drevin Robinson. The 5'11" senior gets a big roar from the Titan crowd here in attendance as Patterson tries another 30-foot three-pointer. And Patterson gives the foul on the rebound as the crowd really wanted to see Drevin Robinson get another basket. Instead, he'll be at the free throw line with a chance to add to his total as 2 in the game. Had that last layup a moment ago. So 96-82 as West Forsyth creeps ever closer to the century mark. With still 45 seconds left to play in the game. And we talked about this a little bit in the first half, is that this Forest Trail team has a little bit of an international feel to it, and we're going to get a look at it now as number 21, Kirill Timofeev, checks into the game from Eastern Europe. Number 21 in the black and gold for the Knights. Had a chance to chat with him a little bit before the game. As Drevin Robinson makes 1 of 2, 97-82. 45 seconds left to play. And more fouls and more free throws coming, this time for Lacey Gathing for Forest Trail. This will be Gathing at the line for 2. If nothing else, that's going to give West Forsyth another offensive possession and a chance to get to the century mark. As Gathing makes the first. He's got 14 in the game now. Rebound that time for the Titans initially. Able to save it that time was Uloko. Robinson is grabbed and he'll go to the free throw line as the West Forsyth crowd applauds that as they get Drevin Robinson to the free throw line. He's got a big smile on his face over there. And a chance to add to his total. Robinson with 4 now. Make it 5 for Robinson, 99-83. Pull-up shot is no good. Rebound taken away, and then nearly thrown away for West Forsyth, who will keep possession of the basketball. And now there is the turnover, and lost it out of play again, did Forest Trail. So 2 straight tries to get the ball in play have gone away from West Forsyth, but Forest Trail not able to maintain the possession. This time able to get it into the hands of Dede Myers. Myers trying to dribble through a crowd. Lost the basketball, Jalen Baldwin with the lay-in. 99-85. Lead it ahead to Matney. Lob down low on the baseline. Not able to save it in play was Joyner, and you can sense that the, the West Forsyth crowd really wants to get Robinson another hoop if they can and get to the century mark, but with 8.5 seconds left, I'm not sure they're going to get the opportunity here. Ball comes in to Gathing. Took about 4 steps in the lane, dropped it off, no good. 99-85 will be the final score, and West Forsyth gets a really, really impressive win over Forest Trail, and we'll hope to hear from Coach Rusty LaRue here in just a few moments for West Forsyth as they get a big, big win over Forest Trail Academy, 99-85, as we take a quick look at some of our leading scorers in the basketball game, starting with, again, number 2, Daryl Brown for the Titans, finishing with 24 points in the ball game. Also in the 20-point club today, number 1, Darian Slade, the 6-foot senior, finishing with 23 points. Marcus Watson off the bench with 21 to round out the big scoring numbers in the ball game today for West Forsyth. On the other side, for the Knights of Forest Trail from Kernersville, North Carolina, the leading scorer in the ball game, Cameron Alston, finishing with 6 threes and 20 points in total in the win today, or in the loss today rather, for Forest Trail. Number 4, Deshaun Patterson, also with 19 points. Lacey Gathing finishing with 14 points in the game today for this Forest Trail team, as we get an opportunity to chat with Coach LaRue here at courtside with us after the Titans of West Forsyth get the win today, 99-85. Coach, thanks for joining us. Talk about the win today. Boy, that was an awfully impressive effort for your kids, especially in the backcourt when you look at Daryl Brown and Slade, who both had monster games today playing against a much bigger Forest Trail team.
Yeah, I think, we're still sort of a work in progress. We didn't have – I got the job late June. We didn't really have a summer. And, Darren and Daryl both play football. And so, really the last 3 weeks has almost been like preseason for us. We're trying to get to know each other. And I really think, we got those 2 guys, senior guards, are really talented offensive guys. And I think today was probably the best game we've had of sharing the ball. Those guys still scored a lot, but a lot of guys touched it. The ball moved around, and it was good to see.
Another player who I thought really impacted this game for you guys in the first half was Marcus Watson, who came off the bench, finishing with 21 points in total. He was kind of the catalyst in that first half, broke open what was a pretty tight game in the first quarter and really got you guys off on the right foot. Yeah,
Marcus is a really talented kid, and he's learning how to play the game still, especially on the defensive end. But I think you can see when he keeps the game simple, he's as good as there is offensively. He's got a lot of talent, and again, he's a kid that's – all of our guys are learning the game, right? They're learning every day and getting better every day, and it's good to see. He's been playing well ever since the Frank Spencer. He's been playing well for us for the last few games.
Late in the second quarter, they chopped a lead that was 20 for you guys down to 12, but then in the third quarter, it seemed like you steadied yourself and were able to push that lead back out to as many as 21 in the second half. What did you say to your guys in the locker room? Because it looked like, again, refocused in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think they went to the extended zone a little bit, and that put us on our heels, and I thought we started standing a little bit and holding on to the ball. And we came out in the second half. We talked in the halftime about how to beat the zone, and I thought second half we really were much more aggressive against the zone instead of being passive against it. And when we're aggressive offensive, when we share the ball, we're really hard to guard.
You mentioned kind of a work in progress for your group because you had so many kids that played football, and you're kind of new to this program as well. Just talk about how big a win this is for your group, playing against such a high-profile opponent like this, and to do it in the manner that you did it, winning it by double figures.
Well, obviously Forest Trail is a talented team. They got a lot of good players, and so it's a good win. And anytime you score the kind of points we did, you're doing something right. And we're still, son Cooper, who's a junior, good player, only been back a couple games. Have my other son Maverick out today. Josiah Jenkins is still out with a hand injury. So we got a lot of good weapons, and it's nice to kind of see them coming together and playing well together.
It's really impressive to watch today, Coach. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck the rest of the year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Coach Rusty LaRue joining us here at courtside as West Forsyth gets the win over Forest Trail. 99-85 is the final score here today. In game number 2 coming up next, it's the host schools. Winston-Salem Prep on the girls' side, and the boys will follow coming up here in just a little bit. You're watching the first annual Hoop Cities Invitational here at Winston-Salem Prep Academy, presented by Champion Sports on Netcast Sports.